years, even though we love growth. We have Liz Peek, syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, and we welcome back Emily Compagno, co-host of Outnumbered on Fox News and author of Under His Wings. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it very much. Emily, can I raise this guy, Judge Juan Merchan, who wants to sentence the sitting president-elect, who was just certified today, as you well know. He still has a gag order on him. He's going to sentence him so he can call him a felon. He's not going to give him any prison time. I think this just violates every legal thing and keeps going with the weaponization and all the lawfare. But I don't know. What do you think of this? It's kind of an insane story.
Yeah, look, you're not wrong, first of all. This is unconstitutional on so many levels. And really any semblance of judicial objectivity that we could have afforded Judge Juan Merchan flew out the window for two reasons. Number one, the fact that he utterly failed to give the president-elect time to pursue his appeal of the immunity point, because that would have preserved his status not as a convicted felon. And we know that the vast majority of Americans thought that this particular trial was lawfare and politically motivated. And therefore, as he writes in his opinions, the fact that it's upholding the law and preserving people's faith in the criminal justice system. No, it couldn't be anything further from that. So this shows this is simply political. And the second reason is that for him failing to require unanimity of the jurors and specificity, this is why in part it's unconstitutional, of the underlying charge. It could have been one of anything that they merely hinted at, right? The election integrity, fraud, falsification of business records. But the fact that he continues to state in his opinions it is only about election integrity again reveals the fact that he is so partisan and this is so political, and that it is just for the soundbite of him saying this is a convicted felon that has sworn into office.
And I think he did it now because he wants to beat the appeal. I mean, I think Merchan deliberately did that. The gag order is, I don't mean to point at you, Liz, that's very rude. The gag order is still in place.
Yeah.
Trump is now the president. He was certified today, and the gag order is still in place.
What's hilarious is he was on Truth Social going, I can't talk about blah, blah, blah. And then he goes ahead and talks about it.
Right.
How can that possibly be right?
I mean,
really,
incredible.
It's an outrageous thing. And if you ask 99% of the country, they have no idea what he did wrong. They think what he did wrong was pay off Stormy Daniels. That is not a crime anywhere.
That's
and so this was an entirely manufactured thing. Like it reminds me of making those sort of millefeuille financial instruments during the financial crisis, where they just tumbled at their own weight. 39 misdemeanors turned into 39 felonies. It's ridiculous.
It's like magic. Liz, I know you're very interested in the congestion pricing decision today. So that, let me get this right, so that everybody in New York is going to pay higher prices and more inflation. All the businesses below 60th Street, restaurants, businesses, shows, everything will suffer. And here's Governor Kathy Hochul at it again,
It's pretty staggering, and by the way, connected a little bit to this case, right? They are doing everything possible to make New York City as unattractive as possible to businesses, residents, and commerce in general.
Yeah.
I mean, why, when you have a city that's losing residents and losing businesses, I think we're the #1 state in terms of losing people and losing city. Why would you make it more expensive to be here and harder to be here and riskier, which is what this judge is doing?
Emily, can Trump somehow overturn it? Congestion pricing in New York? It's just it's another tax. It's a payoff to a lot of unions and union bosses in New York. It's not going to do a thing to help the subways or anything like that. Can somehow President Trump stop that?
Well, the federal remedy would be via the court system. And that, of course, can supersede any type of state law that's in effect. But at the end of the day, I think the reality is that, and I don't know why, but the voters here in New York, and myself included in that, have failed to remove these individuals that keep passing these decisions
That's what has to
against the will of all of us. Exactly. That pricing, it is impossible to overstate how much that will add. Yes.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Can we impeach her? Do something? Anyway, Liz Peek, Emily Compagno, thank you very much. You can catch Emily hosting Outnumbered weekdays, 12 p.m. Eastern on Fox News. Fabulous stuff. Thanks,